We've arrived, but the crew is split up again. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess of Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to One Piece, episode 1091, I believe. Let me just check to be sure. Yeah, 1091. So yeah, last time we kind of arrived and everything, but the crew has been split up due to the waves and everything, the mecha shark, just all the shenanigans going down. We have Luffy, Chopper, and Bonney, as well as Jinbei together. So 3 members of the crew are with Bonney. And they're just kind of like, you know, taking a load off from all the crazy shenanigans and chatting and goofing around. Not really much of a surprise. Meanwhile, the rest of the crew are still on the ship, thanks to Frankie working to try and save them, but also thanks to Dr. Vegapunk. Because a giant robot lifted them out of the sea, and we find out it is being piloted by Vegapunk, who has announced herself. And she seems to be kind of mischievous. Like she's talking about, like, why should I save you? And was talking about, like, oh, if they're killed and everything, we won't get their stuff, and stuff like that. If the Mecha Shark destroys the ship and all. You get the gist. So it's like, it almost seems like she doesn't initially know who they are. And even if she does, she doesn't seem to be, like, initially allied with them at all. I don't know if that's going to change, but we'll have to see. Because right now she seems like she said, like, I'm a genius scientist with the world government and everything. So she seems to have a little bit of an ego, but I mean, that's not entirely surprising with One Piece. I guess it's just going to come down to, like, where it goes from there. But yeah, I'm excited to see more. There's a lot of setup that happened last time as well with Sword, I believe it said it was called. This group of Marines, who we don't really know much of anything about yet. We know that there's Prince Roos, I want to say his name is. There's this new girl named, I believe, Hibari, who was begging along with Helmeppo to save Kobe, who is on Fololed Island, captured by Blackbeard. So they're probably going to, you know, take some measures based on the opening. We see Hibari trying to escape Fololed with Kobe. So, yeah, I'm very interested to see how all of that ends up going down. There's a lot of stuff in the opening we, of course, have not seen or heard about yet. That's just natural, since this is basically the 3rd episode of the arc. Not even basically, it just is. So, of course, there's a lot where we haven't, like, gotten context for yet. But that will come eventually as we continue down the line. For now, though, I'm just really hyped to see what more we got in store, because the first couple episodes of this arc really started things off strong. Like, I've obviously seen all of One Piece, and while I may not remember exactly what the first 2 episodes of every arc are like, I can say that this is probably one of the stronger starts, just initial starts to an arc. I put it up there with, like, Skypiea. Or, you know, technically it's Jaya. That it's the Skypiea saga. I'm thinking specifically of the Jaya arc, to be fair. I put it up there with the start of the Jaya arc then. Or, probably Arlong Park as well. A bit of Baratier, maybe. And Wano for sure. It's like those are like some of the best opening episodes to arcs that I can think of off the top of my head. Ones that just really, really hit the mark right off the bat. I would put this up there with the likes of those. I don't know where I would rank it, of course, but I would have to really think about all of that and see those episodes again. But either way, I'm excited to see what we got in store, so we're going to get into this. Also, if you hadn't heard yet, there is a video coming up today as well, probably already up by this point, that's going to talk about it. But this week is shortened. We are shortening this week, and things are being switched around. So that's why you're seeing One Piece on Monday. Because One Piece is not normally our Monday series. It's normally a Tuesday series. But that's why you're seeing One Piece today. The week is being shortened by 1 day. There's not going to be anything on Friday. And there's not going to be anything uploaded on the weekend either, because I'm going to a convention this weekend. It's a small first-year convention in my area, and because of that, I'm just not able to do anything. I'm not able to get anything recorded or uploaded on Friday, and I'm not able to get anything uploaded during the weekend. So I've had to shorten it, and because of that, I've also switched some things around, taken a couple shows out for the week. It's while we're still sticking to the schedule for now, this week is going to be different just because of the circumstances. Next week, we will go back to our normal schedule, as it normally is. It's just we're taking this week and changing it around a bit just to make up for the fact that this weekend is going to be different. But that means you can look forward to a cosplay music video coming at the beginning of next week. So, all of that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. I was starting to do my outro as if like I was done with the episode. I've done that before, but I mean, thank you so much for tuning in anyway. But either way, let's get on with the episode. I'm a mess. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black, then it fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in once again, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, I'm just going to say right off the bat, I knew that Lilith wasn't Dr. Vegapunk last episode, because I know what Dr. Vegapunk looks like and all. I knew about Lilith's existence. Like, I knew there was this character. I knew her name was Lilith. I didn't know... I didn't know all the details surrounding her. Like, I've obviously, because, again, as I've said well in the past, the One Piece community is shit with spoilers. I knew that these characters existed. Plus, the opening obviously shows us them. I've seen pictures of them before. I just didn't know all these details about them. Like Atlas, I didn't know her name. I didn't know Shaka's name. I knew that they were characters. I knew that they, existed. And I knew that they had to do with Dr. Vegapunk. But that's pretty much about it. So there's at least 5 of them in total. I don't know how many there are overall, but there's at least 5. And if I had to guess, based on everything on this island, they're probably robots. They're probably robots created by the real Dr. Vegapunk to kind of take on his duties in certain ways. Like, for example, Lilith seems to be doing some self-defense work. She's, handling any pirate ships that come by, scavenging for, anything they might have, treasure and whatnot. Shaka seems to maybe have like a role in control. He seems to have like to be in charge, maybe. Um, and Atlas seems to be an inventor. So I'm thinking Dr. Vegapunk created these robots to take on different tasks of his so that he could work more efficiently, more quickly, allowing him to have more time to, you know, do things that could be important to probably the world government, let's be honest. Um, so again, there's at least five of them, which means there's at least two that we haven't seen. And there could be a number of reasons for their creation as well. There's just a lot of different ideas that this could be integrated into. Now, again, I don't know all the details about what's coming. Like I've said before, because the One Piece community just spoiling the shit out of everything the instant it appears in the manga, I've heard of certain things. I've seen certain things. There's some things I just haven't been able to escape, but for the most part, I don't know context. I don't know like the full details of everything, or anything like that. For the most part, it's just like, oh, I've seen like an image of these characters, or I've seen like a small thing that explains like, oh, who Bonnie's dad is, the one that was turned into a cyborg as a weapon. Though obviously you should be able to guess. I'm not going to spoil you. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but you should be able to guess based on her description. Her father was turned into a cyborg, a living weapon for the world government. I think you should be able to tell who that is. Just saying. But I'm not going to spoil. I'm not going to actually say who it is, just in case anyone has not had it click for them yet. But yeah, I knew about that ahead of time. That was something I did know about. But I didn't know, I don't know all the details surrounding it. I just know that it's a thing. Um, and so there's still a lot that I am spoiler free on, thankfully. um, yeah, like I said, with these Vegapunks, I did know about their existence. I knew that these characters existed. I knew that they were connected to Vegapunk. I've seen their designs before, so I knew like the Punk '02 and Punk '05 on their outfits and all. I just didn't know, and still don't really know all the details. So they all seem to represent something, though. Lilith, who is Punk '02, represents evil. Shaka, who is, I think it said Punk '01, is good. And then Atlas, who is Punk '05, represents violence. So they all have a representative emotion or archetype or whatever you want to call it. A trait, I guess, would work. So what could the other two end up being? If there's violence, one could be like peace, maybe? Pacifism? One could possibly be like love. There's a lot of different things that they could be. That's the thing. And I don't know exactly how many there are. So there might be 6, 7, 8, I don't know. So who knows exactly like what it might have gone with here. But let's talk about these three characters so far. So like I said, Shaka seems to be kind of the one in control. It almost looks like he's like a leader. And considering he's Punk '01, that makes sense. He seemed to like read the situation a lot quicker than Lilith did, and was like, okay, here's the deal. You see this swordsman here? He's Zoro. He has a 1.1 billion berry bounty. This dude can kill you where you stand. You stand no fucking chance. Bring them back to me. He reads the situation pretty well and pretty quickly. And that's really interesting. He seems to be very calm and composed. Lilith, on the other hand, it seems to be a bit of a troublemaker. She seems to like kind of relish in scavenging for parts or whatnot, or for like treasure off of these ships that come in, because usually, according to her, pirates aren't able to get into these waters, aren't able to survive in these waters. Her and her robots are extra security, but it seems like they probably attack the ships that are like surviving for some period of time, or go after the ships that have already been, taken down, and try to scavenge as much treasure and stuff as they can. There's a lot of reasons that could be the case too. And for an island like this that is based around futuristic technology, I definitely see it. There's a lot of reasons for that. She seems kind of sassy, and she has like that smirk constantly going on. I like her personality. But then we have Atlas. You may have noticed I put Atlas in the channel banner, and that was before I even knew like her name or anything, because I just found it out today. Um, I literally saw her in the opening, and basically was looking up Egghead Island like vectors and stuff, and I saw hers, and it's just like I decided to use that. Um, because she's adorable. She is absolutely fucking adorable. Um, she reads as like being very young, but she's not like childish in terms of like, being naive and less intelligent and whatnot. She's obviously very intelligent. She's an inventor. She created this automatic food machine, which, by the way, just gonna say this real quick here. Jinbei getting embarrassed over taking a piece of meat for himself is fucking adorable, and I love him so much. Jinbei is one of my favorites for sure. But yeah, she's super smart. She's really cutesy though. Like she does very much have a childlike personality to her, especially with her seeming anger issues, which goes into her violence that she's based around. So she seems to kind of like have this switch flip in her. Like when she got attacked by Luffy, which he didn't know she was real. He thought she was a hologram, and he was apologetic after hitting her. Um, but when she got attacked by him, she kind of like flipped. Like you saw her eyes change and everything. It's like her entire mood and attitude completely changed, and she became like violent. She became aggressive, and she attacked him. But like right after, she flipped right back. It's literally like a switch flipped in her brain. And if she is a robot, that's probably what happened. um, there are probably certain things that like trigger her to go into that state. Being attacked would very obviously be one of them. That just makes a lot of sense. Um, but yeah, I'm very interested to see more of her, because she's definitely my favorite right now, which should be no surprise to anyone. It's like the adorable giant girl who's super cutesy created a food machine and is just like has a really fun personality. Of course, she's my favorite. It's like that just goes without saying. um. I also like the moment in this episode where Bonney corrected Luffy on her name. Also, he called her Bogey, which isn't that like what he calls Buggy? So it's like that's kind of even more of an insult to her. But she got angry. Like she corrected him on her name like in a really aggressively angry way, and he actually like could tell that really offended her, and so he apologized and everything. You got to give Luffy. He can be observant at points, not all the time, but at points that he could tell that really offended her. Um, we also get to see, of course, Bonnie's gluttonous side in this. I keep bringing up that her nickname is the Glutton. Bonnie loves food. That's not a secret. She was literally introduced in Shabandi that way. eating pizza and whatnot. So yeah, it's not like a surprise or anything that she'd be like getting super excited over food just like Luffy and Chopper. That's expected, honestly. But actually getting to see it in action, because I don't think we've really seen it before. Like, we've seen her eating a lot before, whether in this or in like movies or whatnot. But we've never, I think, seen her like really getting like Luffy levels of excited over food. Like, I don't think we've seen that side of her yet, and so it's really cute and just charming to see that, because I've always thought the same thing with Luffy. It's adorable. It's adorable seeing him get so excited over food. Like, I love food, and I don't get like that excited. I don't think normal people typically do. But cartoon characters, you can do that with. You can have that exaggerated expressionism and emotion to showcase how much they love to eat. It's it's one of the great things about animation as a medium. You can exaggerate things for comedic effect or just to have fun. And that definitely is expressed through that scene in this episode. And yeah, it's like it is also funny that these three are together when they are the gluttonous ones. Jinbei is kind of there as almost a straight man character to them because they're, very goofy and silly. And Jinbei's trying to keep very serious, but even he has some little fun moments in here too. Again, like with the piece of meat and, getting embarrassed over enjoying it as well. Jinbei's pretty great. We love our big fish boy. But yeah, I'm excited to see where this continues to go. I'm definitely excited to meet more of the Vegapunks. I don't know, again, how many there are, but we're probably going to meet more of them next episode, I would wager. Also, it's interesting that we're meeting them, like, out of order. Like, we met two first, then the characters didn't even meet number one. Shaka was in, like, over Lilith's, walkie-talkie, I guess you could say. Her headset, there we go. That's the word I was trying to think of. Shaka was over the headset, so we saw him as viewers, but the crew didn't. And then after that, we got 5. We went 2, 1, then 5. We just completely skipped 3 and 4. So that's pretty interesting. Plus, it's also interesting that we kind of had 3 different scenarios of meeting them. Because Luffy, Jinbei, Chopper, and Bonney met Atlas. They met number 5. The rest of the crew met number 2, Lilith. And then Shaka was met by us, the viewers. So it's like all 3 of them are met by 3 exclusive groups in a way. And I think that's a really fascinating way to start to introduce these characters. I'm very interested to learn more about them. Again, I'm assuming they're robots that are created to take on different tasks around the island to help with Vegapunk's just, busy schedule and everything. That's the only thing I could think of. If there's anything more specific to it than that, I don't know. But like I said, I've seen these characters' designs before, and I'm glad we get to like see them in full animation and stuff now. I'm definitely wondering what others will be like. There are definitely others in the opening that I feel are probably other Vegapunks, but I'd have to see the opening again to know for sure. If I remember, maybe I'll pay attention next time, but I'll probably be singing along again. We'll see how that goes next week. But in the meantime, tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this episode of One Piece? What did you think of the Vegapunks and their personalities? Let me know your thoughts down below. As always, no spoilers for myself or anyone else who might be watching this week by week. And thank you so much for tuning in, as always. So for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.